yourselves a great weekend. Higher, yeah, good, yeah. Look, all those messages from all, like the speakers earlier, is exactly like what I said in the opening message that I gave everyone. The idea of MacGill Summer School is optimism. It's a place for us to be optimistic and hopefully create a better future for all of us. So all the messages there from all the different speakers was fantastic. Just to close this MacGill Summer School, I'm going to invite up first the Thomas Moore and Judy Livingston, Director of the Keough-Naughton Institute of Irish Studies and Professor of Modern History at the University of Notre Dame. Please welcome Professor Colin Barr.
Try fitting all of that on a business card. This is our 4th year at Notre Dame and the Keough-Naughton Institute sponsoring the MacGill Summer School, and it goes from strength to strength. We came on board just as COVID was ending, and Joe was in the process of passing to Vince, and I don't think anyone knew where it was going. The pandemic had changed things. The crowd was smaller. There were fewer people. But there was an excitement then in that first year, and I remember coming. I only got here for the last day, so you remember I broke away from my honeymoon at the tail end of that. I learned to walk again just last week. But I've been able to come to 2 more of the 4 years, and I think this one, without any question in my mind, has just been exceptional. I think the energy here, the new people, the old people who have come for many years, I don't mean old figuratively, not literally, the people who have been coming to MacGill for so long, and people who have come for the first time. The quality of our speakers, the quality of the debate, and something that struck in my mind, and I'll be very brief, is living in America in the current climate, and the polarization we all know about. We don't need to revisit that. But imagining this kind of interchange and discussion with people with very different opinions, questions from the audience, I can't imagine that now. It's very, very hard to see how that could be. It happens here effortlessly. That's 4 days of talking, and perhaps a little bit later at the bar last night than I should have been. But that effortlessness, where did that come from, is something that doesn't also happen by accident. It's down to you, it's down to our speakers, it's down to the quality of political debate and discussion and civil society here in Ireland, but also is a great deal of hard work. Now, Vince has a very long list of people. I'm not going to gazump that. But I do want to thank people from Notre Dame who came with us. Both are based here in Ireland, in Dublin and in Belfast. Susie, Warwick, Pauline, Grania, Leary. It's just so, and our postdoc, our interns, Emmy and Jane, bringing, I see, and our 4 students there who are looking at their feet. Yeah, there we go. But Notre Dame takes an enormous amount of pride in this, but also I take an enormous amount of pride in our team at Keough-Naughton, who have contributed to Vince and his amazing team, and to making all of this possible. Thank you all. Thank you for our students who sat here to the bitter end. But most of all, I think this is something that you in Ireland should be astonishingly proud of. This is something special, this quality of debate, this quality of discussion. In a small, medium-sized hotel in the furthest corner of the island, that this happens year after year after year at a time of deep polarization, not just in America, everywhere. You can do this here at such a high standard, such a high quality, and that is absolutely just, it's affirming. And I think you should just pause, think about what former Minister Donnelly said, talk about the good news. Leave that politics on the side. This is good news. You are good news in our time. I think it's worth celebrating. And I think that with that I will stop and say thank you. Thank you.
So much, and we really do appreciate the support of Notre Dame, to be honest. Next up, I want to welcome up onto the stage the chair of the MacGill Summer School Advisory Council, Professor Brigid Laffan.
Good evening, everyone, and what a terrific 3 days we have had. Do you know how much time was spent talking in this room over the last 3 days? 24 hours. Do you know how many speakers have sat on the panels here? About 50, give or take. There are some double counts. And what fantastic audience participation we've had at every session. and every session could have run by at least another hour. So that is a wonderful way to spend 3 days of our lives. We've had a great time. And we have dissected this fractured world. I'm not going to try to sum up what we discussed over 3 days, but I'll leave you with a couple of key things. Firstly, we happen to live at one of those extraordinary times of human history that happens every 100, 150 years of major, deep transformation and change, usually driven by technology. We're in one of those now, and because of the nature of technological change, change has speeded up. Secondly, this takes place against the backdrop of the first time in human history where we destroyed the planet, the climate crisis. We have changes in demography and very major shifts in power. There are times when there are equilibriums in the world in terms of power, but what we see now is a hardening of power, and the continuum between cooperation and conflict is moving more towards competitiveness and conflict, and that's because of the nature of the change. The deep geopolitical changes, the economic changes, and the fact that the post-war taboo on the egregious use of force, in my view, is weakening day by day in the world we live in. So we live in this very, very different world, and a world where the infrastructure of politics and the infrastructure of communication is really changing. But one of the things I detected in the last 3 days was that I detected no counsel of despair. I detected no resignation. I detected no sense of hopelessness. I detected no sense that we, even in our discussion, were overwhelmed by all of this change. And that's something we've always got to remember, that the deep structural changes matter, but it's human beings that take decisions. It is human agency that shapes our world, tries to shape all of these different changes that I talked about. And the other thing that we as a society should always hold on to is we actually care about our country. We care about what is happening, we want it to be better, we disagree about the nature of what we're looking for, but we do it with a level of respect and responsibility, but engagement, that I think is really something very valuable. I don't see Ireland as a particularly alienated society. And then in terms of the stakes, well, the stakes are really high. Where will our future prosperity come from? What will the nature of that prosperity be? What will the nature of peace on our island be? And I think given the other shift in the world, that continuum from democracy to authoritarianism, I'm afraid the authoritarians are having a good time. It is about our democracy, and least anyone thinks Ireland could never be authoritarian. I'd commend everyone to read Paul Lynch's wonderful book on Prophet's Song. It is terrifying, and it's about Ireland. Mary mentioned resilience now. Mark Little mentioned resilience earlier today, and I think resilience it has to be resilience all the way down. We've got to stress test the resilience of our society in terms of our infrastructure, government, education, everything, security, everything. And I think I would add to resilience, I would add adaptability in real time. Because given when we live in a period of accelerated change, taking decisions in real time actually matters. Time matters. We can't wait 10 years in this country to solve the infrastructural challenges or the housing challenges. So I think it's been an absolutely wonderful 3 days, and I always love coming to Glenties. I'd like to end by saying that I was very moved by the memorial for Mary Clare today, and I remember with fondness, she was always the first person I met inside the door of the Highland. And that's another thing we do well in our country, is we honour people's contributions, and we honour the dead. And I would also like us as a group to send a message of warmth and love to Joe and Danny Mulholland. miss them. We miss them and we wish them well, and we hold them with us. And can I end with one thing? In this whole world of change and churn and everything, I can make one absolute prediction that I know is true this evening. Do you want to know what it is? It is that the county that will win the Samagwar Cup this year... No, wait for it. The county colours will be green or yellow gold. That is the only thing that I know with certainty at the end of this. I wish Donegal well, but of course, as you know, I love my county and I love football. So I can't wish you too well, but I do wish you well. And again, thank you for all of the participation and the wonderful time we've all had together. Thank you.
Brigid, so much. Now, I have a long list of people to say thank you to, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read them out and then we'll clap at the very end because we'll be here all night, okay? So just the local organising committee, Michael Gallagher, Paddy McDarr, Micheál Brennan, Sophie Connaughton and Paul Doherty, our board of directors, Chair Owen Clear, Shay Garvey, Fiona Naughton, and the multi-talented, our very own James O'Malley, he wrote that. Our friends in support from University of Notre Dame, thanks to Donegal County Council and Darren McDonough again on the streaming. Our supporter this year, the Irish Academy of Engineering, who are great supporters this year. All our speakers and fantastic hosts. Thanks to all the people who advise and support the development of the programme. Special thanks to the Azure Security Forum and also Jerry Waldron as well, who's watching online from London. The crew and MacGill team, Molly, the current MacGill Fellow, she's been doing fantastic work. Paddy, Kevin, Ethan, Niall, Luke and Ryan. Photos and videos, you see Johnny Bambury over there and Jonathan from Wild Edge Media, they do a fantastic job. Frank McGuinness on the taxis, obviously the brother of Jim McGuinness, who's looking forward to the match. Joseph and Kathleen Brennan, Brown's Printers, Reynolds of Raffo and ABC Lighting, Jerry and the Glenties Comprehensive, Chadow's Coffee, which did a fantastic job, really changed everything, Thompson's Flowers, Patsy and Francis in the Co-op. Could you give them all a huge round of applause? Individual applause. Obviously, the Highlands Hotel has always been the place that MacGill has occurred since the 45 years it's been operating. They do a fantastic job, to be honest, from start to finish. They welcome us every year. They make everything work really well. We couldn't do it without them, to be honest, and it's a beautiful place. We had the Deputy Director of Intelligence from New Zealand last year speak at MacGill Summer School, and he said, when he came to it, he said that he was expecting this really fancy, swanky World Economic Forum type conference centre, and he came to the Highlands Hotel, and he said in the end he preferred it. He preferred the community, he preferred the people, he preferred the way he could engage with audiences. He said it was fantastic. So that's all due to the Highlands Hotel. I'd love to thank Emma Rose, Tina and Claire, and all the staff in the Highlands, so please give them a huge round. Brigid mentioned Joe and Annie, and she said it way better than I ever could. Joe and Annie are fantastic, and they've made all this happen, all the energy and optimism, and all I do, to be honest, I'm like a custodian, and that's what we see ourselves on the board of directors, bring that energy that they created and bring it into the future. So please give them another huge round of applause. Just to end, obviously Brigid said we're here for 24 hours talking, but what do you want? You want more. You want more of this, obviously. So what you can do is you can watch back everything again for another 24 hours on our live stream. Check that on Donegal County Council. These as well, the speakers are here. Read their books, go online, look at what they're saying. If you're inspired by anyone, please follow them. That's really important. Tell people about MacGill, but not the brand of MacGill, the message that you got from all the speakers here today. Tell them that it's important to listen, it's important to engage, and it's important as well. We have a campaign, we have an election happening, so please be kind as much as you possible. And the only way to combat all this misinformation and all this negativity is to be positive. So it doesn't matter if you totally disagree with anyone that you heard here today or disagree with any of the presidential candidates. But I must say, just for me, and if they do end up running, and if you do end up being nominated, just to say we're proud of you to even take the risk. We really are proud of you to take that risk on our behalf. And I need to get this last one right. Every year at MacGill, obviously, we kind of disappear and we come back and we tell you the dates really late and we tell you everything really late. So if this is the first time this year, we want to tell you the dates for 2026. It's going to be July 16th to 18th, again, those 3 days. So please put it in your diaries, book the B&Bs, and make it really difficult for us to be able to get speakers into those B&Bs. But hopefully we see you here back again next year, and we're looking forward to seeing you all. So thank you so much. Thank you very much.
We need a very wonderful, strong round